Hi friends, welcome back to my channel Heal Lift Rise. My name is Carla. Thank you all so very much for joining me here. I truly appreciate every single one of you, all of your love, support, and kindness to the channel. Welcome if you are new. I had this message come through today. Really wanted to share it with you all, especially if you are going through this, if you're experiencing this yourself, or if you know somebody who's experiencing this. I feel like this message that came through could be very beneficial and helpful for you and give you a different perspective into what you are experiencing. The message that came through, why grief is a deeper level of healing. This grief basically is bringing you to the next level of your evolution. This is bringing you greater healing and opening doors for you. A lot of people in the midst of going through grief don't see it as such and won't see it that way, but it literally is opening you up and helping you to advance on your journey. So grief is bringing you to the next level on your journey. It is an opportunity, a gateway to go deeper within on your healing journey. Why is this so? Because it requires you to feel your feelings fully, honestly, and continuously, because it will continue to arise. Many who have gone through many profound experiences of grief have said it never feels like it truly goes away. This is because it will keep coming back up until it is fully experienced, until it is fully felt, and until it teaches you what it's meant to, whatever that may be. Because I know even from my own experiences of dealing with grief, it does teach you something in that moment. And I truly believe there's different waves of it. Certainly, I think that, depending on your connection and the meaning certain individuals have had in your life, you can definitely experience grief on different levels, for sure, different depths, I would say. Grief tends to bring up emotions you have ignored and pushed away. Maybe because you didn't want to feel the heaviness of a particular emotion or the discomfort that a particular emotion brought. So grief definitely brings up all that we have really ignored within us. It brings all of that to the surface. And that is why many will often find themselves crying over things and getting emotional over things that normally wouldn't make them cry, or normally they wouldn't have a big reaction to. Like, for example, maybe the way dinner turned out, it didn't turn out exactly the way that they wanted it to. It seemed like they were probably like nitpicking the way it looked, the way it tasted, or maybe their outfit, their clothes, things that normally wouldn't get to them. It ends up getting to them. It ends up like triggering them. It's because they are allowing themselves to experience and feel into what they are feeling. And when you do that, it's this process of feeling and allowing, it just continues to flow. And because you're allowing that energy to move through you and you're allowing the experience of the emotions, it's taking its natural course. It's doing what it's meant to be doing. And it doesn't have to, and it won't make sense to your mind. Depending on how much we have ignored and stuffed away from feeling or turned away from feeling, it has the potential to cause people to feel stuck in life and going down paths of isolation and hoarding because they don't know how to deal with deep-seated trauma, and they've ignored the pain inside that continues to grow. And as we all receive different awakenings and realizations through the process, we can find ourselves sometimes going through really heavy emotions that can possibly block our path or seem to feel like our path is we're blocked or we're stuck because we don't know how to deal with all that is coming up. Because like I said, whatever we are not willing to deal with, whatever emotions we are not willing to sit with and we're not willing to process and allow to come up and be experienced and released, it does get stuffed away, and when other big experiences of grief come unexpectedly, it can put us in that state of shock, and our nervous system and our body tends to have a big reaction where we feel almost hopeless and helpless, because we're unable to feel through that. We don't know how to move forward, and many times people don't want to be uncomfortable. They don't want to feel discomfort. So that's why it's truly important to allow emotions and feelings that come up and come through, to allow yourself to feel it and feel it in its entirety. When we experience loss and go through periods of grief, it is in the grief that we will gain and understand a deeper sense of ourself and our journey here. We start to see the impermanence of life, of everything. It is sure to awaken something inside of you because you're not the same person you were before grief. We don't grapple with time the same anymore. Many have said loss and grief have shifted their whole perception of life and how they choose to live it, and maybe even now with more honesty and clear intention and purpose. It's as if one's very soul has come alive within. And this, my friends, is where a true shift has taken place and is experienced. Because honestly, when we're going through the thickness and heaviness of this discomfort of that grief brings, right? It does change us. We aren't the same person we were going into it. After we go through a big part of this healing that it brings, we see the world, we view the world differently. We view life differently. We have different like a different lens on, so to speak. It's a different view. And many times this like reawakens and ignites your soul and different aspects within you that you possibly were just dormant and, really just unconscious to. Because I have witnessed it time and time again. And, even from stories my friends have shared, that you become a completely different person. And for some people, they really become alive. And it takes years and years, sometimes, even longer. Everybody's process is different. But at some point along the way, they have all of this strength and this courage and true and pure intention to move forward in life and to stop allowing doubt or fear to stop them from going forward in life and doing the things they want to do and accomplish and helping to be of better service and just living truly and fully with more intention and more purpose. Like I said, I'm sure you have seen this so many different times, maybe even on shows that you have watched where you have seen people go through crazy grief because they experienced the loss of a child or their parents, for example. And it brings them to this place through the grief to have forgiveness for what happened, to have a different sense of self, and they feel that they have to move forward and find different ways to help keep that person's memory alive. Maybe they start organizations that help with, demonstrating, I don't know, like whether it's violence, like helping to bring more awareness to violence and changing, where we can not see more violence in the community, like but bringing more attention to it. It could be so many different things, right? There's plenty of different avenues that people go through depending on the situation that they experience. But I I know many times, and I myself have been included in this, is like you wonder how people can get through it and how they have that strength to go forward and create organizations, create charities within their loved one's name, and actually start making and creating change for what they want to see different because of what happened to their loved one. You wonder how that happens. It's the process of grief. And when you're going through that process, at some point in it, you don't just sit in the grief anymore. It changes you. It literally changes you as you continue to allow yourself to experience and feel fully the emotions that come through. And it brings you different awareness, because I feel like it does have something to teach us. And in those moments is where those golden nuggets of wisdom can be gained, because you start to see the importance of life. You start to see life completely different, and you want to make the changes. You want to have impact, and you want to not waste a second or waste time, because time is precious, and everything has its time. Everything is impermanent. But at the same time, on that flip side, our soul is limitless and infinite. So I felt like this message really, it had to come through. It came through today, and I had to get this out there and share it with you. I'm sending you all of my love and many hugs. If you yourself or your family are experiencing loss right now and going through grief, understand it is a process. It takes time. There is no time limit. There is no cap on grief, because as I mentioned earlier, it is something that we experience, and it keeps and will keep at some point, coming back up as needed, as necessary. And you just have to honor yourself and honor what you are feeling, what you are experiencing, in its entirety, and to not judge yourself, but to give yourself grace and patience as you and your family and loved ones maneuver through that process, because it is a process. And it takes much time and much patience and honoring of your emotions. There might be days when you feel really great, and there might be days when you don't, when you go through this. It really is the up and down, the ebb and flow of life as it is, and our emotions kind of mimic the same thing in grief. So I just wanted to share this with you. I hope in some way this helped you, uplifted you, gave you a different perspective on grief and the ways in which we handle it and process it, go through it. It is something we all have to do, and we all, in some point in our lives, most of us do experience. But it is bringing so much healing on a deeper level. There's a deeper level of healing that is happening through grief. And I truly believe it brings you to this next level, up level of your journey, because you are going deep. And I'm telling you, when we go deep, we're going within and we're feeling what needs to be felt, because that's what grief does. And loss, it definitely just opens the floodgates, right? We are allowing ourselves to release emotions and feelings that we haven't allowed ourselves to feel and experience. It all comes to the surface. It all gets released. The more we are open and allowing of that to be felt and released. So it is profound healing that takes place. And it is bringing you to the next level of your journey, where you can experience and have deeper connection with yourself, deeper connection with others, more awareness of your emotions, of yourself, and what you feel. I think it does truly bring you true connection, and in some ways it softens you. So it's truly amazing. There's so many different avenues and ways to kind of look at grief and how it really helps us on our journey. But I wanted to share that with you. Until next time, my friends, take very, very good care of yourselves. I love you all so much. Bye for now.